What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Thank you very much for tuning in today. First of all, thank you to everybody for the birthday wishes yesterday. Really appreciate it. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a stream out, man. I was tempted to do one, but you know, the rum got the better of me, man. I thought, yo, I can't be doing a stream after a few rums, so I had to leave it well alone, man, before I say something inappropriate, you know. But big up, man's on time today, a year older. I'm wiser. I have to get, better with this timekeeping, man. I can't, keep feeding into the stereotypes that black men always turn up late, So big up everyone for tuning in. Thank you very much. I thought I'd bang Wenger on the background today. History Channel settings continue as always, people. None of these new school players or managers going on the background right now because I'm still a little unhappy with Arsenal right now. I'm still a bit annoyed and angry with them, like back in the day when they used to put on your status, are you in a relationship or single? Right now, my status with Arsenal would be, it's complicated. Like, we're still together, but we ain't vibing well right now. You know what I mean? So they need to sort it out, man. We need some signings, man. Sign some players, as Robbie says, But we're here, man. Wenger, listen, the Wenger stream will be next week, right? I know I promised you this. The only reason I haven't done it is because I wanted a little panel. I want like 2 or 3 people on with me so we can have a real big discussion. The Wenger stream will be next week. Arsene Wenger, is he a legend or is he responsible for a lot of the issues that are happening at Arsenal right now? That's what I want us to talk about. There's a lot of debate coming out at Arsenal saying, should Arsene Wenger have a statue outside the Emirates? And I know people are a little bit split on it because some people, they just love him for what he did at the start and the great football. But a lot of people, they blame him for the problems that we're in. And he kind of, got into the whole Gazidis school of thinking and making it all about money and stuff like that. So and said, it's complicated. You keep cheating on me. Yeah, that's what Arsenal are doing, man, right now. They ain't treating us right now. So, yeah, man. But listen, happy to be here. And like I said, people, that Arsene Wenger stream will be next week. I will have 2 or 3 guests on for that. So look out for that. But I'll keep you updated about what day. It will be in the middle of next week sometime. Big up everyone still for the birthday messages. And let's get into the latest. What's going on? Man said Brighton laughing all the way to the bank. Well, I'll go straight off that comment, people, because Brighton and Arsenal have pretty much agreed on a deal for Ben White. And I want to know your guys' thoughts. Man said give him half a statue, cut it off at the waist. He was a legend for the first half. Second half, he bumped us. Birthday was blessed, bro. I really appreciate it. But listen, Ben White on his way to Arsenal, £45 million plus £5 million in add-ons. The 23-year-old England international is set to join Arsenal now. This was David Ornstein. Sky and a few other people now are saying that the deal's pretty much done. All the clubs are figuring out is the $5 million in add-ons, how it's paid and what, what clauses have to be met for Brighton to be paid that. So an initial 45 million, 5 million in add-ons. This deal is going to be completed. RP said this signing gives me Maguire vibes. The funny thing is, Maguire is partly responsible for this deal costing so much because all of a sudden in football, one transfer shifts the goalposts, as people say. £90 million was the record for Paul Pogba. Any deal would have been around there. All of a sudden, Neymar goes to PSG for 200 million. And then next minute, Coutinho is going for 130 million. Dembele is 120. And I think Harry Maguire did a similar thing with central defenders in the Premier League. He cost £80 million. And everyone looks at their defender like, well, if Harry Maguire costs 80, then Ben White's worth 50. That's how they're going to look at it, because Maguire is decent, to be fair. He is doing all right at Man U, but he's not on the same level of Virgil van Dijk, who cost 75 million a year or two before Maguire, who's probably, Van Dijk at the time, after a year or two at Liverpool, people were saying he's the best centre-back in the world. Nobody has really said that. about Harry Maguire. So I think Maguire is partly to blame for this deal. What I want to know, and I ask you guys this all the time, and I'm fascinated to get your thoughts on this because I'm caught in between with this. How do you guys feel about this deal? I think what you have to look at, the positives. Let's look at the positives. He's 23 years of age, right? He's got time to grow, develop, improve. He is a ball-playing centre-back, which Arsenal don't have. Holding is not good enough on the ball. Gabriel, those guys are not. The best ball-playing centre-back at Arsenal was David Luiz. Let's keep it 100. But he's gone now. So we do need a ball-playing centre-back because I believe that Arteta wants to play out from the back like that. So, all right, in that sense. 23, he's played in the Championship. He's played in the Prem, so he knows how to mix it physically. He's got some experience. He's in the England squad. Apparently, he really impressed Gareth Southgate, and he picked him over Ben Godfrey. What I would say on the flip side, just to give this argument balance, number one, if I'm signing a centre-back for £50 million, I want to know that this guy is a lot better than what we've got. I'm not sure how much better Ben White is than the centre-backs we've got. Is he better than Pablo Mari? Is he better than Gabriel? And if he is better than them, how much better than them is he? Is he £50 million? Good, you know? People saying he's Bob Baldwin with a proper hairline. I mean, I need to see a lot more than that. Apparently, he's quick, good on the ball, can play in a couple of other positions as well. But I always say the same thing. I say, Arsenal, they're that club. It's like your mum sending you to the shop when you was a kid for some milk and you come back with a bottle of champagne. Yeah, man, the champagne is nice, but you need milk for your cereal. And this is what Arsenal are doing right now. Like, I don't think he's the priority. I don't think he's the priority. What I will say in defense of Arsenal a little bit, it doesn't matter what order you sign the players in. So we're looking at it going, we need the centre midfielder, we need the attacking midfielder, we need the right back. So we would have probably gone and bought Basuma first before we looked at a centre-back. If they buy Ben White, then they go and buy a right back, then they buy a defensive mid and an attacking mid, we'll all be happy. But because we're Arsenal fans and naturally we are not optimistic, we're pessimistic because we're always let down by Arsenal, we're looking at it going, well, if you're spending 50 million on him, are you going to have 50 million for a midfielder, 30 million for a right back, 30 million for an attacking midfielder? We can't see that. You know, I can't see those kind of figures being spent by Arsenal. And that's what worries me. What kind of shop? So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the kid ain't buying champagne, but you know what I'm trying to say. You're being sent to the shop for the necessities and you're coming back with something you're not desperate for. What I will say in this argument, there's a big debate going off, and I see Robbie and AFTV and a lot of people are discussing this. Do Arsenal need a centre-back? My answer to that question would be yes. I think we do. A lot of people refer to the fact that we have a lot of defenders. How many top quality centre-backs do we have? Rob Holding, to me, is a squad player. He should be nothing more than a squad player. Callum Chambers is a squad player, in my opinion. Gabriel, I think, is a good centre-back, but we saw last year at times he's a little bit rash. He's going to take a little bit of time to develop. And Pablo Mari, I think he's okay. At the moment, I can't say anything more than that. David Luiz, as I said, was our best ball-playing centre-back. He was the one that you actually wanted to get on the ball. So with him out of the squad, I don't think we're that great on the ball at the back. And Arteta clearly wants to play possession-based football. So I think we do need a centre-back. I just hope Ben White does really well. Because if he doesn't start the season well, people are going to hammer Mikel Arteta for this deal and say 50 million for this guy, and this guy ain't even much better than Rob Holding. So he is going to have to hit the ground running. At the moment, I'd say I'm 60-40. I'm 60% positive. Arsenal are spending money. He's young, he's quick, he's good on the ball, he's English. I mean, being English doesn't really matter, but you need English players now because of this whole Brexit situation in your squad. Ayrson Industry said, thank you for the super chat, bruv. Said, Saliba is getting sold. Ben White deal confirms it. I mean, what worries me is the fact that there are mixed reports about Saliba and about Rob Holding. There was a story coming out yesterday saying that Arsenal may potentially sell Rob Holding and keep Saliba, which I could have got my head around that. You've got Gabriel and Mari as your two left-sided centre-backs, and you've got Ben White and Saliba as your two right-sideds and Chambers as the backup. I could have done with that. I think, yeah, that would have made sense. If Saliba goes, it's an absolute disaster, in my opinion, to let a guy of that potential go. Now, don't get me wrong. I've said this many times. There's no guarantees that Saliba is a major success at Arsenal, but you need to give him the opportunity. It's not like we're an unbelievable defense and there's no way he's good enough to get into that defense. Rob Holding's played over 20 games in the league this season. Rob Holding's nothing special. I don't even know if Rob Holding would get into Brighton's defense. He's not better than Lewis Dunk or Ben White, in my opinion. So, listen, for me, the Saliba discussion is a whole other debate that needs to be had, man. There's no way Saliba should be in let go. Marble Hall said, if we gave Liverpool 50 million for Suarez, we'd have got him. But no, our dopey owners let Wenger Gazidis get away with it. We have a right to be skeptical. And it's true. You know, they won't spend 50 million or they won't spend 35 million to get Buendia, who we need in the attacking midfield role. But then you spend 50 million on a centre-back that we're not desperate for. And we're not totally convinced how much better this guy is than what we've got. What I will say, I'm not going to come on here and criticize Ben White because I've heard he is good. What I've seen of him, he looks decent. And I believe he should be given an opportunity if he comes to Arsenal to settle. I'm not going to be critical of him without seeing him play for Arsenal. For all we know, he could come in, look really good, and all of a sudden we're saying 23-year-old England international for 50 million is an absolute bargain. But time will tell on this one. But as Arsenal fans, we do have a right to be sceptical when it comes to Arsenal because you just don't trust them to spend money the right way. We've seen it time and time again. And I suppose we'll have to see. Someone just put Chris Wheatley's latest tweet. Big up for that. And I am supposed to be having Chris Wheatley on the channel shortly. He was on Bav's channel the other day. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago as well. So look out for that. Should be coming shortly. William Saliba is in the French Olympic squad. He's in the French Olympic squad. I hadn't even heard anything about this, whether he was going to this squad. But as Chris Wheatley has just reported, William Saliba is in the France squad for the Olympics. It means he's likely to miss the start of the season with the games being held from July the 21st to August the 7th. Tovan, I mean, just looking there, I mean, not too many familiar names, but William Saliba will go to the Olympics. And as Chris Wheatley is announcing there, Saliba, the tournament finishes August the 7th, and you would expect France to go quite far in that tournament. So that's a little bit disappointing, in my opinion, because that gives Mikel Arteta the perfect excuse to kind of push him out the way. He's going to say, well, this guy's not even available for the start of the season. So whilst I like seeing Arsenal players on international duty, the Olympics is a little bit of a distraction that we don't need. That's now Saliba and Gabriel at the Olympics till potentially the 7th of August, when our first game of the season is August the 13th, a week later. So that, to me, is a little bit of a blow for Arsenal, that Saliba going to the Olympics with France. Big up Leo Messi with the super chat. 3 words come to mind with Arsenal. Trust the process. I'm sorry, Leo, but I cannot trust the process when it comes to Arsenal. Trust the process, as we call it. Big up Jim Guna TV, says Camavinga. I mean, great young talent. Arsenal have been linked. I don't see it personally. I think he's being linked with Bayern Munich and teams like that. And he also says, big up Curtis. I'm hearing from many different sources we have 200 mil to spend. Ben White is a very good investment and he's the replacement for David Luiz. And him and Gabriel will be really good. Camavinga next. Watch. Listen, I don't believe we got 200 million to spend. I hope we have. but I just don't believe that. I think it will be more like, 100, maybe 100 million rather than 200 million. Zach said, "Hey, I'm late, Curtis. Big up. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Thank you very much, bro. Really appreciate that. Great day." Let's quickly talk about this one as well. Jack Grealish, man, 100 million to Manchester City. It really puts things in perspective sometimes, don't it? When Man City are offering 100 million for Kane, 100 million for Jack Grealish, man, and a player that a lot of Arsenal fans were saying, "Oh, we're going to get Jack Grealish, this, that, the other." There was no way we could afford him. It was always going to be 80 million plus. And it looks like Jack Grealish could be on his way to Manchester City for £100 million. I mean, there's no way Arsenal are going to be able to compete with those kind of things. Alvin said, "Is Mikel Arteta going to be sacked?" I mean, I don't think it's going to happen for now. Abhinav said, "Ben Chilwell, a Champions League winner, is worth 50 million. And a Brighton centre-back is worth 50 million too. What a joke Brighton have done Arsenal." Listen, time will tell. Time will tell. If he comes in and he's great, then no one will... Listen, transfer fees are only talked about with players when they struggle. If they thrive, no one talks about it. Right? Nobody talks about Virgil van Dijk 75 million. No one mentions it. But we talk about Pepe because we're still like, we need to see a bit more. You only talk about the fee when there's question marks. If Ben White comes in and he's rock solid, nobody will care that we paid 50 million for him. In fact, we'll be praising the fact that we got a 23-year-old for 50 million. It's one of them. Time will tell. At the moment, question marks over it, but let's just see how it works out. Big up Gundy said Saliba and Gabriel would be back for the City game, surely. Arsenal should beat Brentford. Come on. What the problem we've got is you have to have a certain amount of time without training. So I'm thinking these Olympic squads will be probably training at the moment. So Saliba and Gabriel may have not had much of a break. So if they go to August the 7th in the Olympics, they may need 2 or 3 weeks without football before they're allowed to then return to Arsenal. They're then going to have to train for a bit. You may not see those two to the end of August. And obviously we play Manchester City and Chelsea in that time. So I'm quite disappointed. Like, on one hand, I'm happy that Saliba's going to the Olympics. It puts him on another platform. But, it's disappointing that he won't be back for the start of the season. Curved Glass said, "I'm out, Big C. Have a great stream." Yeah, listen, people, smash a like on the video. Subscribe. We're aiming for 30,000 by the start of the Premier League season. It'd be great if we could get that. Shazwat said, "Bro, is Lacazette surely leaving?" There are rumours that Monaco and Lyon are interested in him. The problem with Lacazette, and was always going to be the problem, Lacazette earns £150,000 a week at Arsenal. And I'm not sure teams like Lyon and Monaco are going to pay that type of wage. This is where you're going to have a problem. So we're going to have to see on that one. Big up Vegas Gunner. Thank you for the super chat. He said, "Kurt, is there any chance they are bringing in White to play CDM? Arteta is unpredictable." It just seems pointless. Why sign a centre-back to play him CDM? If you want the CDM, go and buy Basuma off them, and play him CDM. But it would be so typical of Arteta. Buy a £50 million centre-back and play him CDM, Stone Gorilla said, "White is class." Yeah, listen, I like hearing that. A lot of people are speaking very positively about him and saying, listen, good player. A lot of potential, good on the ball, good athlete. Done well in the Championship, done well in the Prem. Impressed, got in the England squad ahead of Godfrey. But it's just the price. But like I said, if he hits the ground running, proves himself, plays well, you only talk about the price when players struggle. Mahudin said, "Big up C, greetings from Istanbul. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much." Arteta out. He's changing personnel, not upgrading the squad. Interesting. Wait, Saliba is playing in the Olympics. Yeah, as we just looked at there, the Chris Wheatley tweet. William Saliba will go to the Olympics and will miss potentially the first few games of the season, which for me is a big loss for Arsenal. People saying here, Arsenal allowing Saliba to go to the Olympics tells me the news of Arsenal allowing him to go could be on the cards, because there was a rumor going around that Liverpool rejected Mo Salah's involvement in the Olympics because they didn't want him coming back late. So the fact that Arsenal have given permission for Saliba to go to the Olympics, which is not recognized as a major international tournament, that to me tells me that Mikel Arteta does not see this guy as a priority. That's the way I'm taking it. If Mikel Arteta had full belief that Saliba was going to be in his plans for pre-season, I think he would have said, don't go to the Olympics. I need you here. I know Gabriel's gone to the Olympics, but he's already kind of proved himself at Arsenal. Misty said, "What Arteta don't rate Saliba, man. Let's keep it 100. 100%. He doesn't like him. I don't know what the issue is, but he doesn't." The Gooner said Saliba is overhyped by the fan base. I think it's more a frustration of the fact that we paid £27 million for a player, and we're giving the guy no opportunity to actually prove how good he is. You know, it doesn't make any sense to bring a guy in and give him such little opportunity to prove himself. Yet this guy got in team of the season in the French league after 6 months. It's crazy. Big up Judah with a super chat. Thank you very much, bro. Really appreciate that. Arteta don't like the French. I mean, doesn't like Guendouzi and doesn't seem to like Saliba, that's for sure. That's not entirely true, Curtis, because even Gabriel is going to the Olympics. What I mean, Gabriel has been involved in the under-21 system for Brazil for a while, so it was naturally understandable that he was going to the Olympics, and he's also proved himself at Arsenal, so he doesn't need to be there for pre-season to prove himself. Because the club were saying Saliba, they want him there for pre-season to look at him, but then you're allowing him to go to the Olympics. That tells me that you don't see him as that much of a priority. I don't know, maybe I could be wrong. That's just the way I'm looking at it. Gunnar Vettel said, facts, Curtis, Saliba is probably not in his plans. I would not be surprised now to see Saliba loaned out. I'm telling you now. That's just my feeling on it. I could be totally wrong, but I just don't think Arteta rates him. Nambro said, I don't get why some people dislike the deal. I would take White any day of the week over Holding and Chambers. The thing is, Nambro, I think being better than Holding and Chambers doesn't necessarily justify being worth 50 million. We need to know how much better than Chambers and Holding is. There are a lot of centre-backs better than Holding and Chambers, but for 50 million, I need to see that you're a lot better. But listen, as I always say, time will tell, and we'll see about that. But listen, first signing looks like it's getting done. £50 million, Ben White. They're saying this deal could be done in a few days, and hopefully no more linked FC. Clive Gale said, this makes me think this 250 million is a smoke screen. The board and Kroenke are playing us. Listen, they're not going to spend 250 million in one transfer window. That's for sure. Darren Sullivan said Arteta now. I mean, listen, he ain't going nowhere for now. Outgun said no Gabriel at the start of a season is a massive blow. Remember, Luiz is gone. So at the moment, we're starting the season with Pablo Mari, Rob Holding, Callum Chambers. And the reason we're only starting with them two leads me briefly on to our next story. And it is another centre-back. And that is Mavropanos has left Arsenal. He has joined Stuttgart on loan with an obligation, I believe, to buy him at the end of it. And it's only £5 million, which seems a bit of a strange one to me. Surely he's worth more than that. Mavropanos, a lot of people were saying he'd done really well over there in Germany at Stuttgart. Our old friend Mislintat is over there. And he's managed to get him back over there. Apparently, he was the one who was instrumental in getting him to Arsenal. He's now taking him out of Arsenal. And £5 million, £3.5 million to buy him on a permanent with 1.5 million in easy add-ons. I mean, that seems way too cheap for, what is he, 22, something like that. Arsenal are so bad when it comes to selling players, man. I honestly thought this guy was going to come back pre-season and have an opportunity to prove himself. But no, he's out the door. Is he any worse than Rob Holding and Callum Chambers? Went to Germany, had a good year. He's a big guy as well, well over 6 foot. Yeah, small sell-on clause in the deal as well. Man said Sven's bent us over. We did include a sell-on clause. Listen, our hope is that he goes to Germany, rips it apart, and someone like Dortmund or Bayern Munich end up signing him for, 30, 40 million pounds, and we make some money in the sell-on clause. But it's still a strange deal. 5 million seems way too cheap. And listen, all the rumors were that he was going to get an opportunity in preseason. I heard loads of reports saying Mavropanos, Saliba, those two are going to be given an opportunity in preseason. And there you go. The first one goes out the door for £5 million. Big up Richard Reed. He said, big up Big C. If it makes sense, we'll do the complete opposite. Bless from South Florida. Listen, man, I'm still hoping to get over to Florida for the Arsenal tour, although yesterday the government didn't put America on the green list. And obviously, America still have this travel ban for people from the UK to travel over there. There is another announcement on the 15th of July. So hopefully something changes then. I would love to get over for that tour. But yeah, William Saliba going to the Olympics, and Dinos Mavropanos leaves the club on loan to Stuttgart with an obligation to buy for £5 million. And to me, £5 million, I would have probably rather kept him and had a look at him in pre-season. This guy apparently has had a great season in the Bundesliga. Why not give him an opportunity at Arsenal? But he seems to have put all his faith into the likes of Rob Holding. Jahia D, thank you very much for the super chat. Much appreciated. Said, I think Arteta is ruining our French connection. The way he deals with Guendouzi, Saliba, and Pepe. I mean, obviously Pepe's not French, but came from the French league, French-speaking country. Said players in the French league will think twice before even considering Arsenal as long as this clown is around. And listen, you make a good point there, because players look at the pathway of previous players. We were the dominant English club in the French market because everybody looked at what Arsene Wenger had done. Anelka, Henry, Pires, Wiltord, Vieira, Petit. We were the club. If you were French, you wanted to come to the Prem. Arsenal was the club to go to. They're going to look at Arsenal now and go, well, this guy's treated Saliba horrible. He's treated Guendouzi horrible as well. Guendouzi is a bit petulant, Pepe hasn't treated him great either. A lot of times he's been dropped after playing well. Okay, the exceptions, you could say Gabriel and Lacazette, those two. But these things affect potential signings in the future. Like I said, Aouar plays for the French under-21 team with Matteo Guendouzi. So, imagine him speaking to Guendouzi and going, what's it like at Arsenal? Guendouzi's going to say, listen, bruv, while Arteta's there, you don't want nothing to do with that. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that one goes. Good luck to Mavropanos. For me, I would have liked to have seen him given an opportunity in pre-season. And I think £5 million is way, way, way too cheap to let him go. But listen, Arsenal are in desperate need of selling players. Their squad is massive and no Europe next season. So what I do think is you're going to see a lot of players leaving at reduced prices this summer. So that's one deal. That's one deal done. Leila Adan said Leicester bought Fofana and Sionchu for the money we are paying for White. It's Arsenal. It's, the fact we're buying him from a Premier League club. He's English. These things make a difference. You got to look. We paid 25 million for Gabriel. That was a bargain, really. It's the fact he's English, England international, 23, another Premier League club. This is the issue. South London's finest, big up, bro. He said, smash the likes, people. Get it up to 1K and subscribe. Road to 30K settings, people. And appreciate your birthday message yesterday, bruv. Big up to everyone in the chat. Make sure you like the video. Let's hit 1,000 likes. There's 1,100 of you in here now. Can we get 1,000 likes? And subscribe if you haven't already. Moving on, Arsenal linked FC, and as usual, we'll be linked with more players again. Will we actually sign anybody? Get a deal completed that we can celebrate, and maybe I can put a player on the green screen and we start being a little bit positive. But at the moment, no, we haven't signed anyone. We're linked with everyone. Alexander Isak. I'm sure you guys all know him now. You've seen him in the Euros for Sweden. Apparently, he could be available this summer, and this story has come out. Arsenal have been in touch with Alexander Isak's agent and informed him they are willing to go all the way to sign him if the player himself wants to join Arsenal. Arsenal are considering paying his release clause to avoid entering negotiations. £60 million for Alexander Isak. Again, we're linked with, we're interested in, we're looking at, we're considering, we're talking to, we're thinking about. These are the things that we're constantly hearing. You know, I want concrete offers on the table. You know, we're tired of hearing all these maybes and possiblies and all this. Listen, Alexander Isak, he's done well in the Euros so far. He's young. He's 21 years of age. He turns 22 in September. And clearly Arsenal are looking at potential striker options in case Lacazette and Eddie Nketiah leave this summer. I think Arsenal are willing to accept offers on both of those two strikers. Fali Lu said, bro, I'm Swedish. Isak is very good. He looks good. He's impressed me. Moedin said, Big C, bring expressions. I've spoken to X. He said he will come on. We will hopefully get him on in the next few weeks. Big up my boy DG, man. He said, Curtis. Big up DG. Big up my boy Birdwine in the chat. Hope you're good, bruv. Appreciate you tuning in. Darren said, 60 mil, not for me. Silva is the better option. Harvey Don't said, that's the Alexander I want at the club. Emirates Faithful said, hell no, go pay 60 million for Dybala or Martinez. I mean, the rumors are that Dybala will sign a new contract at Juventus now that Allegri is back there. Apparently, Allegri was a big fan of him. He's got a year left on his deal, Dybala, but I think he's going to sign a new contract. And Lautaro Martinez, I believe, would cost more than 60 million. You know, he was linked with Barca for 90 million last summer. So I don't see that one happening, to be honest. But we'll have to see. In terms of Alexander Isak, I mean, £60 million is the release clause. The question you always ask with any player, is he worth it? These numbers do not convince me that he's worth 60 million at this particular time. I mean, when you zoom in here, this was his standout season this year. 17 goals in 34 games, 1 in 2, 2 assists. To me, 20 league goals is the benchmark for any top striker, unless you are like a link player, like a Firmino or someone like that. Then to me, I think strikers have to score 20 goals a season to be rated at £60 million. He got 9 goals the year before in 37 games. It's a tricky one. The transfer window right now for strikers is an absolute mess. You know, it's a real mess right now. There are only a few strikers on the market, and they're being overpriced, and some of them are not worth the money that's being banded around for them. So, you know, we'll have to see. I don't see this one happening. I don't think you will see any movement on any striker at Arsenal until you see Lacazette or Eddie Nketiah moved on. You know, that's just where I see them. Said, Arsenal, all the drip and pickup lines in the dance, but end up going home by themselves. You know what I mean? Bare flirting and no action, you know. Big up Scott in the chat. Make sure people go and subscribe to the Red Cannon. Very good channel, Arsenal channel. Good quality content. Great graphics and stuff like that. I will get him on this channel, actually, at some point. I know a few people have been dropping in the comments saying Scott wants to come on. I've been on his channel. I will get him on here. So don't worry, Scott. I will reach out to him and we'll get something done. Friday settings, man. Yeah, we have to get it done. But yeah, in terms of Alexander Isak, good young talent, but you're paying 60 million for potential. A few years ago, when you spent 60 million, you got a proven certified player. You're now paying 60 million for a guy that could potentially be a top player, could potentially not be great. So it's a difficult one, that one. But Alexander Isak, for me, they need to sort out Lacazette first. You know, sell Eddie Nketiah and try and move on Laca. I think the club personally will keep Lacazette for another year and extend his contract because I just think they've got so much business to do this summer. When you think about the amount of players that Arsenal need to sell this summer. On loan last year, we had Kolasinac, Saliba, Maitland-Niles, Joe Willock, Guendouzi, obviously Mavropanos, who's now gone. There's so many. Torreira. We may have to sell 4 or 5 of those players on loan and then get rid of 3 or 4. We may have to sell 7 or 8 players this summer. Arsenal, less action than Matt Hancock. Yo, man, listen, people in the UK, man. This is the guy, for anybody who doesn't know, Matt Hancock is like the health secretary in England. This is the guy who's been, telling everyone in the UK, you have to wear a mask, you have to sanitize, don't go and see any of your family, all this, that, the other. And then this guy's on the front page of the newspaper, cheating on his wife, hands all over some little, receptionist side piece in the government. These are the people we're supposed to listen to, eh? But hey, it is what it is. Let's get back to football anyway. Price you pay for not being in Europe, 100%, 100%. Sheets of Metal said, big up Curtis, finally telly working at home and listening to your show. How many players you think we're getting for that 250,000? Yeah, it's probably 250,000, not 250 million, them ones. But yeah, let's, man said higher that, man. No, listen, I think Arsenal needs to sign 5 or 6 players this summer. We need a centre-back, a right-back, a CDM, an attacking mid, a second-choice left-back, and probably a goalkeeper, 6 or 7 players. Man said, hire that man. Yo, that guy's all about the action, man. I'm telling you, man's securing all sorts. You know what I'm saying? Got man out here following suit, wearing masks and that. This guy's doing all sorts. We'll probably be linked to him tomorrow. We're in talks with him, probably try and sign him. Man said the side piece. Yo, I'm telling you, Arsenal will probably try and grab him. Get things done. Listen, the next bit of news, another player that this guy's now turning into a Yanam Villa, a Karim Benzema, a Julian Draxler. Arsenal, man, we had them names, Higuain, Demba Ba, them players that every year, transfer window, we were linked with them and we never ended up signing them. We're linked with another one of them that we've spoken about time and time again, Philippe Coutinho. Again. We are linked with Philippe Coutinho. And the story goes on. It says, according to Mundo Deportivo, which is not an elite level source in Spain, Arsenal are waiting to know the physical condition of Coutinho, who underwent knee surgery last April, before they make a move for the Brazilian. Now, I've read the details of this story, and this story seems to be coming from Edu and that sort of school of thought, because obviously Philippe Coutinho's agent is Kia Jarapchin. Kia Jarapchin is Willian's agent. He is Cedric's agent. He is David Luiz's agent as well. So obviously he's brought 3 players to Arsenal and probably bumped us on all 3 of them deals, by the way. We need a number 10. Barca want Coutinho out. Kia Jarapchin, Edu. You see how this goes. Coutinho ends up at Arsenal at 29 on a 5-year contract on 250 grand a week. It's pretty much written in the stars of how it ends up. Now, Philippe Coutinho, to me, it's still probably a fantastic player. You don't suddenly become a bad player overnight. When he went to Bayern Munich, was it last year, the year before? I think he scored, in the run to the final. He was at Barca last year, had an injury, only played 12 games last year. He's still a talented player, but he's 29 years of age. He's on £250,000 a week. If you're talking about talent, I think Coutinho still gets in the team at Arsenal. But the deal wouldn't make sense. If we could get him on loan for a year, I'd probably take it. But Barca want to sell him on a permanent. They're saying they may only want up to £30 million for Coutinho because of the big wage that he's on. I'm going to ask you guys the question again. Yeah, Linked FC, we're back at it again. Would you guys take Philippe Coutinho at Arsenal? Would you take him? Big up Rising Baller. I can see your Liverpool badge. So you're still going to have that Liverpool rating for Philippe Coutinho. Liverpool Coutinho, I mean, come on. He was absolutely amazing. But this Barca Coutinho, is he the same player? Is he the same player? Is he even similar to that Liverpool player? Does he have that same hunger? He's 29. He's on 250 a week. He would want at least a 3-year contract. You then end up with a 32-year-old on $250,000. Is he going to be able to come back to the Prem and tear it up? This is the question. I want to know your guys' thoughts. And Winnie said, big up your damn self, Kurt. It's always a pleasure to be here. Hey, always a pleasure, people. Coutinho, another Odegaard, overhyped. I mean, listen, I think his level is higher than Odegaard. But is he at that level anymore? You know, Hancock gets into IT. Yeah, is Coutinho still at that level? That's the question. If we could get him on loan, I'd take the risk. I got to be honest. If we're paying 30 million for him and giving him 250 a week, I'm not sure. It's a big risk. Big up my brother Akeem. He said supporting Arsenal is torture. Bruv, they make you think, like, they make you second guess yourself when it comes to the club. You know, they bring out a kit and you're like, your natural thing is buy the kit. But then you think, no, I can't buy it. I can't buy it. And you really want to, you know, they make you feel funny about like supporting them properly in a sense because they're just frustrating. You feel like you're getting bumped all the time by the club. Zach said way better than Odegaard. I agree. K. Anwar said Coutinho is done at the elite level. That is where the question mark is. Listen, though, is Coutinho good enough to play for Arsenal? 100% in my opinion. Even if he's not at the level he was at Liverpool, he's still good enough to play for Arsenal. My problem is the structure of the deal. 29 on 250. So you got to match that 250. And then he's going to want 3 years minimum. The deal wouldn't be great. If you could get him on loan, I'd take it. If you had to buy him on a permanent, I think we'd have to go for someone else. 1.2K watching. Let's get the likes up to a K. Let's subscribe if we haven't already. Random Empire said, we're still suffering with Willian. No way. And we're stuck with Willian as well. That's the thing, you know. Willian, we're not even in a position where it's easy to get out of that deal. You know, when you sign a player in football, and you put big wages or big transfer fee, you should always have an escape plan. Well, if this goes wrong after a year, after 2 years, how do I get this guy out the door? You know, and Arsenal never seem to have a plan for that. You know, now with Willian, we're stuck. We're probably going to have to pay Willian to leave the football club. So I don't know with this one. For me, Coutinho, I think we have to move on to players now that are moving forward, that you can develop, that can be at the club for a little while. And whilst I think Coutinho is still a talented footballer, I think maybe Arsenal should look elsewhere. We know we need this number 10. Omar said he is washed, not for me. I think a lot of people will feel like it is another Willian situation. And as I said, it's the Edu effect. Edu, clearly, Edu is not shrewd in this transfer market. You know, when it comes to actual negotiating with football clubs to get deals done, this guy is not particularly good. You know, he's good when there's a release clause or it's a simple deal to getting done. But it looks as if when it comes to getting deals done and actually negotiating a decent price for them, he's not an expert on it. So for me, big question marks over this guy, Edu, have to be asked if he doesn't have a sufficient transfer window this year, because he hasn't shown anything to me to suggest that he's the right man to negotiate these contracts. Florentino Perez was talking about Real Madrid, and how I'm linking this to Arsenal is he was asked about the size of the Real Madrid squad. And what Florentino Perez went on to say in the interview, he said, at the moment, we have 35 players and we can only keep 25. We have a lot of work ahead of us. He was then asked about Ceballos and Odegaard, and he said, naturally, some players will have to leave. We are speaking to their agents to decide what is best for the player and for the football club. So it sounds to me like this whole story, which even I reported the other day, of Odegaard, that he was staying at Real Madrid, it may actually not be as clear-cut as that, because he's saying there, look, we've got 35 players. We need to cut that to 25. 10 players have to leave. And looking at Real Madrid, Ancelotti's back. They've lost Zidane. I don't see him keeping Dani Ceballos. And I think Odegaard could be moved on as well. And this is why I think Arsenal are waiting around, because rather than spending 30 or 40 million on an attacking midfielder, I think Arsenal are waiting to try and get Martin Odegaard either on the cheap or on loan. And this is where I'm saying this 250 million theory that, you know, Kroenke is going to spend $250 million. It doesn't make sense to me, because if he's spending 50 million on a centre-back, they're not just going to go 50 million, 40 million, 30, 50, 40. They're going to try and get some cheap options, because they will look at it and go, right, we need a number 10, but we've got Smith Rowe. So if we can get an Odegaard on loan or pick him up for cheap, then that gives them more money to spend elsewhere. Personally, I don't think Odegaard is the answer in that role. I don't think he suits Arsenal. I think the Prem's a little bit too fast and furious. No pun intended there at the film. But I think it's a little bit too much for him. I think he would suit like a Man City who play total football. But I'm not fully convinced by Odegaard at Arsenal, man. Perez the fraud. I mean, yeah, but if he sells as good players, but would you guys be happy with Odegaard? Let me know. Big up Don Vargas with a super chat. Said Arsenal need to fire whoever signed Willian. I mean, that's the guy. That's the guy Edu, mate. He signed his friend, you know, and I'm sure they made some decent money out of that as well. Brad said, "Get DG for the Wenger stream. Happy belated birthday." Yeah, listen, me and DG are going to do some shows again soon. Just been a bit busy the last few weeks, but definitely there'll be some content with me and DG soon. Daniel Ek, Overmars, Vieira, Omri, and Ten Hag better than Kroenke, Vinay, Edu, and Arteta. I mean, listen, where is Daniel Ek, people? Where is he? You know, is he still there in the background? Are we getting a third offer? What's going on? Like, if you're here, make sure you're here for the long term. We need to know you're still trying to buy the club. The guy just disappears off the scene, which worries me sometimes. It makes me think it was nothing more than a bit of hype, you know, a bit of hype regarding Daniel Ek. I'm sure his Spotify shares would have gone right up as well, you know. So we'll have to see if Daniel Ek returns. At the moment, I'm not convinced he will. Boy 10 said don't want Odegaard. Randy Vibe said no to Odegaard. Yeah, I don't think he's the one. Cap said Odegaard lightweight, doesn't score enough goals. 100% agree with that. Although Chris said I'd be happy with Odegaard. Mr. Chesney said I don't want Odegaard, sign Maddison. I would like Maddison, but again, is it just hype and season ticket renewals and all that? Sebastian said, I'm late, so I'm going to watch this from the start. Big up. Hey, Sebastian, appreciate your support. Thank you for the super chat. Make sure you smash a like and obviously subscribe if you haven't already, people. Sabitzer for me, I would love Arsenal to sign him, but again, it makes too much sense. If it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. Goons Armory GSA said, much love from South Africa. What are your thoughts on Brandt as an option? There are rumours that Dortmund are willing to sell Brandt this summer. Hasn't had a great season, so you could get him at a reduced price. He would be on the list, but he would be low down it for me. I would rather see Maddison. I'd rather see Mateus Pereira. I'd rather see Sabitzer. You know, a lot of those players, really, before we look at the likes of Julian Brandt. He hasn't had a great couple of years, really, at Dortmund. Curtis, when you go in Ibiza, yeah, I mean, they opened up Ibiza yesterday. Not for me. I won't be an IB for this year, man. I'll be I'm getting down to business now, work time, you know. Obviously, I've been on holiday the other week. My only other break would have been, listen, if they open up that travel corridor for people from England to travel to America, I would like to go and do the Arsenal tour in Florida. So you won't see me in Ibiza. Koulibaly is cheaper than White. I mean, are they selling Koulibaly now, Napoli? I know for years we've been talking about him, but, you know, he's going to cost big money. Maybe Napoli will sell him cheaper now, but I think he's 29 now. Ben White is no Van Dijk. I hear you on that. I don't think he's on that level. But listen, as long as he's a good improvement on what we've got, then it's progress. Darren said 1.3k people watching. Smash the likes. Big up for the amazing support as always. Great numbers. on these. Happy birthday, Curtis. Hope you had a good one. Yeah, it was a great day, people. Fleabeard said next priority is Basuma and Aarons. I mean, they're two players that are more being spoken about by the fans. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing any real links to Max Aarons. I'm not seeing any links to Basuma. It's more fans and agents. You know, I'm not seeing anything between Arsenal and being linked with these guys. Thoughts on Pereira? For me, he would be top probably 3 priorities in that attacking midfield area that I would go for. I think he ticks all the boxes for what we're looking for at the moment. The guy is 25 years of age. I've said it time and time again. Kevin Campbell did a story where he said that Arsenal were interested in him. He got 11 goals. Listen, I know he takes penalties. So, yeah, you can take penalties. But, you know, even in the Championship, 8 goals, 16 assists. In the Prem, 11 goals, 6 assists. Brazilian, 25, scored against Arsenal. I think this guy's better than Odegaard for me in the Prem. That, for me, would be a no-brainer. But Arsenal won't do it because, again, it makes too much sense. You look at Sabitzer, another player. I mean, his numbers, what did he get? 8 goals, 3 assists, 9 goals, 7 assists. He's 27, turned 27 in March. It's believed he could be available for 27 million. He's got a year left on his contract. He's not quite a number 10. He's probably more of a number 8. But again, for me, a no-brainer. Why are Arsenal not looking at him? You know, he's available. He's got a year left. But listen, there is a lot of time in the transfer window to go. And I'm sure Arsenal will make moves for these kind of players. But I suppose we're going to have to sell some players first. Sabitzer's probably, like I said, probably more of a number 8 than a 10. Yeah, he's not a cam, he's a CM, attacking centre mid. But we'll have to see on that one. I'd rather Aouar than Sabitzer. Slightly different, but he's good. He is good, Aouar, and again, could be available. What happened to the clear plan? Again, Arsenal don't seem to have a clear plan. That's the problem. It makes too much sense. We won't do it. Ben White ain't even 6 foot. Is that true, people? Let me know. Is Ben White not 6 foot? Because that worries me. If he's not 6 foot, I don't want no little tight centre-back, some 5 foot. So what is he? 1.82 meters. What is 1.82 meters in feet? He is, wow, he's not 6 foot. The man is not 6 foot, people. Nah, that's mad. He's 5'10", apparently. Nah, that worries me. Wow, you've just set alarm bells ringing for me. He's not even 6 foot. Nah. I need answers. 5'11". Nah. I'm worried, people. I'm worried. We're already losing headers to Raheem Sterling. Nah, alarm bells ringing. Where's the red button, man? Someone press the red button. 5'11". Yeah, he can be 5'10" and decent, but yo, for 50 mil, I need 6'2". I need 16 stone. I need quick. I'm moving like a FIFA pace and height merchant. Man said Puyol was not tall, but yeah, Puyol, them man there, you don't get them people often. Ben White gonna get bullied. Check the Leicester man. He's always slandering us, man. 5'11". Jeez, bro. I hope he's still growing. I hope the man's gonna get to 6 foot. Gabriel wins headers. Koundé is 5'10". Yeah, and you see what happened to Koundé the other day, brother. Right back with that mad hairline. Man was all over the place. Curtis, it's just under 6 foot, not much though. Okay, I let him off, but yo, I wanted us to have tall centre backs, man. Saliba and Mavropanos are tall. Tom, I don't know if you just tuned in, but Mavropanos has left. So I think Mavropanos is 6'4". He's gone, mate. Saliba's going to the Olympics, not available till August. He could be gone by the time he comes back from the Olympics. So, boy, a man are paying 50 million for some little midget, Nah, this man better be able to run, He better read the game well. I'm joking, by the way. I shouldn't have called a man a midget. But, yo, you know what I'm saying? 5'10", 5'11". Man are giving me specifics here. Look, 5'9.7", 5.97 foot. Dear. You better be good on... He better be good on the ground. being tall equals slower. Yeah, sometimes. But hey, it is what it is, man. I said some little idiot. Yo, you know me, man. I don't want no small little defender getting bullied. The Prem's different, you know. Prem's different. I don't want to see man like Chris Wood and Giroud just bullying man in the ear. You know them ones when we just paid 50 mil. 50 mil on a centre-back for Arsenal is big money, bruv. I don't want to see a man getting bullied in the ear. Man's got me pressing the red button during the stream. Man said, what? 5'9". This guy better be good, you know. James Brown said, Big C putting the big in Big C. Brilliant stream again. Yeah, bro, I'm 6'2", bruv. You know them ones. I'll go at centre-back and, you know, win a few towering headers. Saliba 6'3". Just, please, just make sure we keep this guy Saliba, man. Let's make sure we keep Saliba. Let me have a quick look if there's any news on Saliba, apart from obviously he's going to the Olympics. He may not be available till August now, which is disappointing in my opinion. No, they're saying that he's still going to get pre-season. Charles Watts is saying that Saliba is still part of the plans. Charles Watts insists Arsenal insists Saliba remains part of the club's plans and will be given the chance to stake his claim for a place in the squad this summer. And that's come out today, so let's hope that's still true. Man said, be honest, you're 5'8". No, bro, not me, Bredgen. Man's tall, bruv. You know that ones. Tim said he's 6 foot in heels. Man's going to have to wear studs, fam, just to try and get a bit more height, you know. 50 million for the third best defensive centre-back. Oh, man, people are onto this guy already. Saliba is freaking great. I mean, listen, we don't know how good Saliba is. We don't know how good Ben White is really at Arsenal if he comes to Arsenal. But I just want, you know, I don't know what it is, man. Maybe I'm just getting too caught up on FIFA, man. You know, I like 6 foot plus centre-backs with pace as well, you know. But if he's quality, he's quality, you know. John said 6'3". You know what I mean, John? Get yourself in centre-back, man. Get Rob Holding out. Renato Sanchez's link. Nah, that is the link I want to see. I was having a big debate the other day on Twitter because when he was playing against France, I put a tweet out, get Renato Sanchez to Arsenal. And a man said to me, oh, you weren't saying that when he was at Swansea and having a nightmare. I'm like, bruv, like, anybody can have a difficult time in their career. It doesn't mean you can't turn it around. This guy was at Bayern Munich. This guy was at Benfica. And yeah, there is links, 90-minute football. I'm going to bring that up on the screen. Try and gash you up before we get out of here, people. We're being linked with Renato Sanchez. Van just said, maybe we play 3-5 or 5 at the back. So we need 3 first-team centre-backs. This would allow room for Holding and Saliba, even with Ben White. Big up, Curtis. Love from Frankfurt. Thank you for the super chat, bro. And yeah, maybe he'll revert to 3 at the back, 3 centre-backs sometimes. And he could play like Ben White, Saliba, and Gabriel. I think that would be a quality back 3. Linked FC, we're back at it again. Even while I'm on stream, people were being linked. Bruv, Renato Sanchez, a baller, bruv. Baller. And he could be available. Lille are in financial difficulty. Let's get this story up before we get out of here. Give you all a bit more Linked FC excitement. And 90-minute footballer reporting. Exclusive. Arsenal are keeping an eye on Lille's Renato Sanchez, who is keen to prove himself in the Premier League. Sporting's Pedro Gonçalves, also a player of interest as AFC's summer rebuild plans continue. I mean, we must have 100 players on this list. Like Chris said, I'm 6'6". I've had to give me a call. I'm available on a free as long as the wages are decent. I'm telling you, man. Vermaelen was 5'11". And was Vermaelen a huge success at Arsenal? He was a decent centre-back, but, you know, injury-prone and didn't really... He doesn't go down as a real massive success. Although it wasn't to do with his height, though. But, yeah, Arsenal are keeping an eye on Renato Sanchez. I mean, you know, I keep an eye on the lottery numbers, you know. It doesn't mean we're going to win them. You can keep an eye on Renato Sanchez, you know, make an offer for him. You don't need to keep an eye on him. You know that you can see that the guy's good enough. Keeping an eye, linked with, looking at, thinking about. structuring a deal, all that. That's all we're here at Arsenal, isn't it? We are literally linked FC. We're linked with everyone and signing no one so far. I love how you guys are finding all these top quality players. Frank de Boer was 5'10". He was brilliant. He was. 1.3 in the chat, people. Great support. 450 likes. Can we get 1,000 likes? And subscribe if you haven't already. Don't be linked with that subscribe button, and don't be linked with that like button. Get the deal done, people. We're monitoring everyone right now. Like, you might like Rihanna. You might like Kim Kardashian or Beyonce. You could say, yeah, you're keeping your eye on them, but it don't mean you're getting hold of them, does it? Arsenal are keeping their eye on players, but they ain't getting them. I'm telling you, the Messi story's on its way, man. There'll be a Messi link at some stage in this window. I saw a story the other day that Messi's contract ends in 30 days or something. That link's coming. That Edu will say, "Oh, we're keeping an eye on Lionel Messi." Remember what he said, man. Get excited. What did he say? Messi. He said all that before. Boom, Messi. That was it. Boom, Messi. And there's a story, people. It's on its way. It's on its way, people. It's 1 week until Lionel Messi's Barcelona contract expires. No extension has been announced yet. It's only a matter of time before I'm putting a picture up of Messi in an Arsenal shirt on the thumbnail. And there'll be a story saying, Arsenal are monitoring Messi's contract situation. They're looking at it, or, we'd have to sell the whole training ground to buy Messi. And even then, he'd still probably say no anyway. So it is what it is, people. Messi, 1 week till the contract expires. Just wait until we find the story and we're linked with him. And to be fair, he's not 6 foot plus either, although he is an attacking player. But listen, people, thank you very much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Enjoyed the stream as always. Don't forget to check out Talk is Cheap. That should be out at some stage today. We recorded that this morning. Me and Laurie, so that should be out. We're talking about the Euros and Arsenal and being linked with Ben White and all that kind of stuff. So check that out. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll do 2 p.m. We will do an Arsenal show. 5 p.m. tomorrow, Wales against Denmark. Euros watch along. Massive game. So I'll be doing pretty much all of the Euros games from now till the end of the tournament. Now we've got to the group stages are finished. So make sure you tune in for that. Messi in the thumbnail, Eddie on the green screen. You can see it coming, people. We'll be linked with him, and then they'll announce Eddie and Ketty a new contract. How Arsenal move. Enjoy your Friday, people. Thank you for tuning in. Smash a like on the way out. Take care, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bless.